Well, bowling fans, thanks for joining us again from Racine, Castle Lanes, the 2011 Kickoff Classic Boys Division Finals this time, Dwight. And like you say, 4 fine young men on the show.
Yeah, the old cliche, cream rises to the top. You're going to have 4 of the top young males bowling this week on the show.
Yeah, and contrasting styles. Opening match, Jimmy Reszke and A.J. Johnson. Jimmy, kind of a power stroker. A.J., nothing but power out there.
Yeah, very powerful type of games. Very athletic men, young men. So it should make some good matches.
The winner of that opening match goes on to take on the guy with the home house advantage, Ryan Zagar.
Yeah, what can you say about him? Just great mental game, great physical game. He'll be a tough one to beat.
And the winner of that semifinal match will move on to take on Cody Ramsden. Cody, we've seen him a couple times before. Not much success on TV, but boy, did he tear the lanes apart today in qualifying.
Well, he's got to be pretty good to be a #1 qualifier. I expect very good scoring, very close matches.
Yep. Join us again from Castle Lanes for our opening match in just a couple of minutes for the 2011 Kickoff Classic. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. The Milwaukee Bucks and Columbia St. Mary's present Bucks Bowl for the Cure on Friday, October 28th at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. $30 entry fee includes bowling, shoe rental, t-shirt, gift bag, and 2 tickets to select Bucks games during the 2011-2012 season. For more information about Bucks Bowl for the Cure, go to bucks.com/bowl. Oh, with me here again, Dwight Albrecht from Spare Time Pro Shop in New Berlin Bowling. And Dwight, you're hosting a new outlet for local and national bowling news on the radio.
Yeah, Phil, we're real excited about it. It's going to be on WSSP 1250 AM on Sunday mornings from 8 to 9. And we're going to be discussing the local news. We're going to have a local spotlight section, and then we're going to have a PBA Pro call-in every week.
And if you missed the live broadcast or you live outside of WSSP's broadcast area, you can always catch those podcasts at sportsradio1250.com. And the opening match for the boys section of the 2011 Kickoff Classic here at Castle Lanes in Racine. And Dwight, a couple of gentlemen here, lots of hand, lots of speed, and most likely lots of strikes.
Yeah, this is the second time that I will be able to comment on AJ. We saw him at New Berlin, Phil, in the doubles tournament, and I was very impressed with his game. Looks like he's going to be using an Ebonite game breaker today. He's got 12 300s and a high series of 857.
AJ been on a tear, made about 6 TV shows over the last season and a half with us here with the U Challenge Series. Last year at the Border Battle was the title winner there. So nice run, and he's bowling his last tournament before he's heading to McKendree University down in the St. Louis area to bowl in that program. He's going to make the 18 throwing strikes like that.
There's no doubt. He's got it all. We mentioned that when he bowled at New Berlin. He's got the speed, the rev rate. He's playing the lanes correctly. I think he struggled a little bit with playing the lanes here at New Berlin. It was a very tough pattern compared to the pattern that's out today.
Yeah, modified house shot here at Castle Lanes. We always start the kids off first term of the year with something a little bit easier on them. Plus, that way they get to see some high scores here and there too. Once again, a couple 300s during qualifying today, a 299, a 298, and Jimmy just a little light on that first shot with the 245.
Yeah, he's using the Storm Marble Pearl, which is going to definitely give him a little bit more push or length in the oil line. And you can see that one obviously got to the break point and just kept going. It didn't want to turn up to the pocket.
43 feet in length sail pattern. It's got a good amount of oil in the middle to give the balls hold. We saw it on the doubles show. We saw it on the girls show. The best line to play is inside as you can get and still get a good ball reaction. Outside seemed to overreact just a bit.
Yeah, and it looks like he's just right now just on that edge, Phil, again, where he might be a little bit too much inside and the ball's skidding too much. Then he might get it to the outside and it might take off and jump early on him.
So
finding that right break point with the equipment is what it's all about.
Yeah, and especially with the higher scoring pace today. Everybody knows the scores are going to be a little bit higher than when they're bowling on their junior gold type patterns and the sport type patterns, but the good bowlers make the adjustment and they keep up with the scoring pace. And you can see Jimmy laying that ball down almost into the left gutter, and once again can't get that ball to come all the way back over the top.
Yeah, I mean that's hitting off his hand around 38, 37. So I mean he's really super deep. Obviously, he had time to practice this and before the lights went on and was comfortable with this line. But to me, Phil, he looks like he's way too far in.
Yeah, I mean, the lanes broke down all day. They're bowling on pairs that were used earlier. They weren't re-oiled, so they, know where they left off after the semifinals were done. And with both bowlers averaging almost 230 for the day, you think that they'd still be locked in.
Yeah, it's just different when the lights go on, Phil. I mean, the whole mentality aspect changes.
I mean, Jimmy's made his third show he's made now. AJ's made, like I said earlier, at least 6 shows over the last season and a half.
They both have excellent games. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They're different in ways, but they're both very, very solid. And just like you said, they're both super hard power players, a lot of turn on the ball. Again, that's what we call the shredded 10-pin rack, a little light in the pocket. Even with all that turn that AJ has on there, you can see that this ball that 6-pin just hits the flat gutter and just wants to stay down in there. It doesn't want to come out.
Yeah, it didn't have a real strong roll going through. The ball hit off the 3-pin and deflected, went off through the 9-pin spot. Kind of unusual for somebody with that much in the way of revs and speed like AJ. I'm sure he's going to get that fixed real quick.
Well, we talked about it on the last couple of shows on how it just seems like the AMF machines just don't seem to be as forgiving on the pin carry as the Brunswick machines. Almost the strikes have to be letter perfect or 10 flush to carry on the AMFs. Not to say that you can't get scores on the AMF machines, but we just see a little bit more livelier mix on the Brunswick pin setters.
Yeah, I mean, Castle Lanes has a chair honor scores. They had over 90 last year through all their leagues. So you can score on this, and once again, that little unusual corner pin, the 7-pin we see here at Castle Lanes once in a while.
Yeah, it got to the break point, and again, just kind of kept going. Maybe he threw it a touch fast. You can see right there, it just didn't want to turn up to the pocket right before the ball hit the pins. Lucky to not to leave for 5-7.
Yeah, both bowlers, you think, might be just a little too deep or might need a ball they can play a little even straighter with?
Possibly. It could be that they're both a little bit amped up, seeing that the lights finally came on, and they might both be throwing it just a touch too hard.
Well, with that, AJ stays clean, maintains that 2-pin lead with Jimmy Reszke coming up in his third frame. And Jimmy, want to thank his mom, Barb, cheering him on in the background there. You see him over his right shoulder. Barb gets into all the tournaments he bowls, entering his sophomore year at Joliet Community College, and comes back with a nice whipper strike.
Got the phases of ball reaction, Phil. The ball skidded through the fronts very clean. It hooked in the mid part of the lane, rolled up to the pocket right before it hit the pins, and just shredded the rack.
Yes, indeed. 10 pins down, 3 left on the deck. But it doesn't matter as long as they're down. So,
and you would think that the ball choice that he made makes sense, Phil, because the Marble Pearl has such a low RG core. The mass of the core of the ball is so centrally placed, which you would think would be great on a house type of pattern like this where the outsides are a little dry. That one literally what we call quit or rolled out. That's where the rev rate is too high for the ball speed. So the ball got to the break point, never continued through the pins. It actually rolled end over end, or what they call in the Pro Tour, hook out.
Gonna have to cover all 4 with the ball. Does it nicely. Keeps himself within a mark on this game.
Yeah, and look at the spares Phil he's left. 245, 245, and then a dinner bucket. I mean, these are tough spares.
Yeah, and that's something where if I was having that, if I was in Jimmy's shoes, I'd move a little bit back to the right and firm up my ball speed to make sure that ball didn't lose its energy at the break point.
I'd agree.
I think we're going to see AJ kind of doing the same thing after that week 10 and blower 7. I think he's going to square up just a hair. And all it takes is that one board move, and that's the difference right there.
Yeah. Again, nothing's going to stand on that pocket strike. And there's your 10 back, flush 10, whatever you want to call it. And again, the ball did its job taking out the 1, 3, 5, 9.
Yeah, that's just picture perfect all the way through. 10 back in the pit. AJ liked it off his hand. You can see there, a little fist pump at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a confident shot. Let's see if he can build off of it. He's definitely between the two, Phil, got the best look in terms of ball reaction. I like to call it the banana shape. If you get that banana shape type of motion, it's going to be a good day. When you're not, as a bowler, seeing the 3 phases of ball reaction, it could be a pretty long day.
Yeah, just a little bit of a wrap 10 there.
Yeah, and you could see it just got to the break point again right before the pins and didn't continue. Again, to me, Phil, you're right on the money. Looks just a touch too fast. maybe a touch too much amped up. It's just, it's right before it hits the pins, it's just not driving through. He's hitting the pocket, but he's right in that 9-count range in terms of between a 9-count and a strike.
Covers it up nicely. With that, we're getting into the first commercial break of the day. Be sure to join Dwight and I from Castle Lanes in just a couple of minutes for the rest of this match. Second half of our boys' opening match. Jimmy Reszke up in his half of the fifth frame, and Dwight needs to make that little tweak in his ball reaction to start carrying those pins out.
Yeah, this would be the time if you're going to make an adjustment to make it now. The last 4 frames have been hit and miss for him. A little softer on the speed, Phil. That's what I ended up seeing, and it gave the chance for the ball to come around the corner.
Absolutely. No more 2-4-5 combinations for him after that shot, we'd hoped. Leaves himself with a 2-pin deficit against A.J. Johnson. You see that 6-pin, ball's in a nice strong roll, and the 6 kicks off that sidewall and takes the 10 out.
Yeah, to be young, strong, and tall, Phil. I mean, I can see why he has 10 300s and an 847. Bolingbrook, Illinois, famous city for pro bowler on the Pro Tour, Steve Jarvis from Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Yeah, Steve with almost 30 years out on the tour, and I think Jimmy would like to get that one back and slow it down just a hair.
Again, you can see that the ball got to about 55 feet and then just went dead straight. So right there, it just didn't want to make the corner and turn up to the pocket and pays the full price.
Almost be thinking time for a ball change for Jimmy with the way this reaction's kind of going for him, but he's got to find something quick. If he doesn't convert this, it's going to leave a big opening for AJ, and AJ, lucky that he's only working on a strike or on a spare in his fifth frame to not extend that lead out past 16 pins.
This is typically at the time that you watch the Pro Tour and you're going to see your opponent just literally jump all over that opening. I know when I made Bowling with the Champs, when I saw something like that, boy, was I ready to get up and bowl, Phil.
Yes, indeed. And AJ's going to get himself set. Nice, long 5-step delivery. Nice, even pace. And that's going to be 10 back.
Yeah, I think he's have much better ball reaction. I think he's lined up. I think he's going to just start wheeling it. I would say at this point, watch out for AJ.
Yeah, you get that little bit of a lead there, and that swing starts to loosen up that little bit more. It's like somebody scored a little WD-40 in the old rotator cuff. And
as a bowler, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You've got to see the 3 phases of ball reaction. AJ's got it. Jimmy doesn't. And it's no different than the pros on the Pro Tour. The guy on the Pro Tour that has that skid, hook, and roll, he's going to be the one that's going to probably win the match.
Another amazing shot off of AJ's hand. So soft on the bottom, but yet so many revolutions.
And you see that a lot, Phil, with a lot of the high rev players. You know, we talked about the last show, guys like Derek Off are like that, and and Sam Fangarino is like that locally, the lefty in town. And it's those guys that are so soft at the bottom are the ones that also have all those revolutions and just blur the ball down the lane. It's just so impressive to watch AJ in person. He's got such a great physical game. Not to say that Jimmy doesn't either. There's just 2 different styles.
Yeah, Jimmy's really got to work to get down with his tall frame, and I think the 2 pins that needed to get down there were the 8 and 10. That's something that you don't expect out of a player like Jimmy. You can see the smirk on his face.
Yeah, he's just getting that, again, hook out or roll out, Phil, and the ball's DOA.
That's one of those things. You get one of those, like I at least in my book, I get one of those a year where I thought I threw it good, and all of a sudden I look and I leave a 7-9 as a lefty. But Jimmy throws it a bit better than I do.
If I was in his corner as a corner man at this point, I would say, first off, make a ball change. Do something. But the biggest thing that he needs is he's got to get something that's going to have a little bit more angularity. I don't see enough on that last 10 feet, Phil.
Yeah, and right now, down 37, his max score, 202.
He's in trouble.
Yeah, he needs to strike on this shot no matter what and get something going here.
Yeah, AJ's lined up. Jimmy's trying to, back-to-back, Phil.
Wow.
Yeah, it's at this point you want to find the rock to crawl under.
Just talking to AJ there, and they're both kind of shaking their heads and little chuckle about it. Not Jimmy really wants to laugh at, but sometimes if you don't laugh, you're going to cry about it. And that's a tough one to take there.
Well, the one thing that all the seminars I've gone to in the career that I have, the ones I like the most are by Mo Pinnell. And Mo has what we call these Moisms. And one of them is you cannot out-execute bad ball reaction. And folks, that is as true as you can get. You cannot out-execute bad ball reaction. And that's a page right out of Pinnell's book. And right now, Jimmy is a prime example of that. AJ's on cruise control.
Yeah, AJ just needs to just keep marking. I mean, he doesn't even really need to mark from here on out. 1 or 2 marks to get in the match. Right there, that's going to lock it up for him. Even if he opens up the 9th and 10th frames, he's still at a 195 or 199 pace. Jimmy can shoot 181 if he strikes out in the 9th and 10th. So this one, 58 pin lead, 2 frames to go, it's over.
Yeah, it's again just comes down to who had the better look. I think AJ had a little bit better physical game than Jimmy, a little bit more rotation turn on the ball, but he got the ball reaction that his eyes needed to see, and is very comfortable with his swing, knows he has a little area out there, and obviously the scores are going to add up.
Yeah, and now AJ, he's made a good shot here in the 9th. He's got to pick up the spare. AJ's up in the 10th frame. He's got to face a bowler with the home field advantage again, home house advantage. Winner of the last tournament here in the doubles with Cody Holbeck. You got Ryan Zagar coming up in match number 2. And AJ, do you fish around a little bit in the 10th frame? Try to find something if you're AJ?
Absolutely great question, Phil. That's the first thing I was thinking also is got match in hand. Do you now start trying to experiment, maybe find something that's going to give you a little bit better look? Or do you keep pounding out the possible 2 teens or the 2 20s, Phil?
So, yeah, score right now is really irrelevant for AJ. This match is locked up, and boy, when you're dealing with a kid that's on a roll like Ryan Zagar is, in his home center,
home field advantage.
Yeah, I mean, AJ's got to be thinking it's not going to take, it might not take 238 to win the next game.
Another quit or rollout shot. Definitely wrong ball choice here. I think he's got the game. Just he had a wrong ball reaction, and unfortunately it showed when the ball went through the pins.
Yeah, and bowlers that you're looking out there to get better, improve during your league sessions, that kind of thing. It's a great. You got to watch that ball all the way from when it comes out of your hand all the way through the pin deck. And if you're not sure what your ball's doing, there's plenty of certified coaches in the Milwaukee area, Racine area, Kenosha area, Green Bay, Appleton, Neenah, Menasha, Sheboygan. Find a coach that can help you with learning what your ball reaction is, what you should be looking for a ball reaction. You'll be surprised how you're going to carry that extra strike or 2 every 3-game set. Next thing you know, your average is up 10 pins.
I call it the set of eyes in the back of the head, Phil. It's always great to have that coach watching you, telling you what the ball's doing. The pros are no different. They got the tour reps standing behind them in practice, or even they look at the tour reps during the match and either kind of make a hand signal or eye gesture or something. Hey, am I getting the best ball reaction possible?
Yeah, we're just going to fast track through the end of this since it's match in hand for AJ. Let Jimmy escape with his 4th place scholarship of $110.
He shouldn't feel bad, Phil. He still made the show. He's still got a great game. It just was a bad choice for equipment. Yeah,
something tells me that Jimmy's going to make a lot of our U Challenge Series tournaments this year. He doesn't bowl collegiately. There's no team at Joliet Community College. He's going to make at least 2 or 3 more shows this year, I have no doubt.
With that type of talent, absolutely. And again, he's going to have some strong competition coming up. Ryan Zagar has just got an extremely great physical game. And I think Ryan also knows his equipment very well, too.
Yep. And then the winner of our next match goes against Cody Ramsden out of Verona. Cody, one of the best youth bowlers in the Madison area, been there for years, helped his team to a state title 2 or 3 seasons back, and Cody's going to be a force to reckon with when he gets to adult leagues very soon. He's going to turn 21, and that's when the U Challenge eligibility ends. So with that, we've got AJ Johnson with a 228 to 169. Join Dwight and I back here from Castle Lanes for the semifinal match with AJ and Ryan Zagar in just a couple of minutes. New Berlin Bowl presents the 2011 Wisconsin Women's Open on Sunday, November 6th with a guaranteed $500 first place prize. This is Wisconsin's premier one-day scratch women's only event. Be sure to get your entry in early. You can contact Kevin Frew at New Berlin Bowl at 262-641-0014 or go to newberlinbowl.com. Castle Lane's the place. The tournament, the 2011 Kickoff Classic, our boys semifinals match, and Ryan Zagar leading things off for Dwight, trying to get another title in his home center.
Well, you got home field advantage, Phil. He has 5 Hammer Youth Challenge titles already. I mean, great physical game when you watch this young man in person. He's got it all. Speed, rotation, I think knows his equipment very, very good. this will be a tough match for AJ, as good as AJ is.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't going to be one of those matches where it's going to be 170 to 168. It's going to take 230 to 240 to win this match, and the bowlers are going to get to the pocket. It's a matter of unlocking that key to carry all 10 pins that I think is going to make the difference here.
Yep, and Ryan is throwing the Columbia 300 Outburst. He wrote on his sheet that he likes the smooth, archy ball motion that it gets, and AJ starts off with a pack flush 10 strike.
Yeah. Two great young bowlers, one of the best in Illinois, one of the best in Wisconsin, facing off here. And I know AJ, it's his last U Challenge tournament before he heads off to school down at McKendree. Bowler that used to be in the Milwaukee area, now the head coach down there, Steve Michaelfelder, and AJ looking forward to working with him and being part of that program. And
I think Steve's going to be throwing a block party, Phil, when he sees AJ come across, if he doesn't already know about AJ already.
Yeah, I think he's seen AJ in a few of our shows. I know Steve was a religious watcher of our shows while he was up here. So wish him luck down at his new job down at McKendree.
Steve's a great coach. I know he'll do real well down there. We miss Laura and Aaron tremendously. They're great bowling family, great friends.
So just a hair light. We've seen lane 21 here play tighter the last couple of shows, and it's doing it on this one as well, Dwight.
Yeah, it's going to, again, you got to get that phases of the ball reaction here, the 3 phases of ball reaction. I think whoever gets that, Phil is going to win this match. And then, like you said, carry the 9 counts.
Yeah, it's going to be the big difference. And you see both bowlers playing the lanes real straight for the length of the pattern and the amount of dry on the outsides. Neither one of them cover more than 6 boards out and 6 boards back.
Well, you know, guys like Chris Barnes on the tour field do exactly what Ryan does. He puts all this revolution, all this turn in the ball, but he covers very few boards. And that's what's going to give you the pin carry, and it's also going to keep you out of trouble because you're not going coast to coast with the ball.
Yeah, coast to coast looks pretty, but when your score sheet looks like an eye chart, you go strike, 6-3, 8 spare, 5-4,
119.
Yeah, it's all the hook in the world isn't going to do you any good. Well, you can throw it relatively straight and just destroy racks like these 2 young men are doing. That's more fun.
So impressed with Ryan, not only seeing him in person but watching him on TV. He's just got such great positions at the line. His head and his shoulders are over that left knee. That left knee is over that left toe. He's just in an absolute perfect position at the finish, and that's really, in my opinion, just that last step is the most important in the game of bowling, is how you go into the slide.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's an athlete. He's a great bowler, real solid golfer. AJ, when he was in high school, quarterback for his high school football team, played baseball during the spring, bowled during the winter for his high school, and these young men are athletes. Don't take anything away from them out in the lanes.
Absolutely, and you can see it too. I mean, remember, they're throwing either 15 or 16 pounds, folks, and they're making it look like it's 8 pounds. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. To get all those revolutions and turn on the ball with that speed, you need to be in good shape, and both of them are models for that.
AJ looking to get first double of the match here, keep himself within 20 pins. They actually knocked that lead down to 10 pins with a double there.
Yeah, this is going to be a great match, Phil. This ought to be, whoever stays clean or makes that first mistake is going to be the one that's going to end up winning or losing this show. But great start to the game. Yeah,
this could challenge our highest scoring match ever on TV, but it was 2 young ladies that set that back at the Kalahari last year. Brianna Cubito beat Amanda Garavet 268 to 258 in the championship match there, and oh my.
How did the ball miss that?
Yeah, Ryan's thinking of that right now. He's back there. He's calm about it. He knows it's part of the game, but you just watch that 5 saw straight back off the 8.
Yeah, he definitely, it raised his blood pressure a little bit. There's no doubt about it. I can't use the words on TV, but I'm sure he's not too happy with that cold 8. But, it's the breaks of bowling and it's the high-tech equipment. You never saw cold 8s or cold 9s in the days of rubber or plastic balls. It's the strong entry angles that these balls give that sometimes if the pins are not directly set on spot, it's just like they don't know what to do when the ball's coming in at a 4 to 6 degree entry angle, Phil.
And you see our titleist in the girls show, Katie Zwiefelhofer, over Ryan's left shoulder there. They've been dating for a while now, and boyfriend and girlfriend chasing down titles in the home center. Kind of like a storybook finish here if Ryan can win today.
Wow, just awesome, Phil. Flush 10 back.
Great shot getting into the commercial break. Dwight and I will be back with the rest of our semifinal match from Castle Lanes in just a couple of minutes. Back at Castle Lanes, the boys semifinal. Almost a mini strike fest here at Dwight between Ryan Zagar and AJ Johnson. And AJ looking for a 3-bagger in the 5th frame.
Well, for a bowling fan, Phil, this is what you want to watch. I mean, this makes for good viewing.
And it just shows you the talent these bowlers on our Youth Challenge Series telecasts have. I want to thank all our friends at Time Warner Cable Sports 32 for letting us show how great these young athletes are. And looks, oh, I thought he was not going to carry that left side, Dwight.
A little firm, it looked like, and the ball started to fall back, Phil, right before the pins. Shredded the rack.
Yeah, I think he knows he got away with that one a little bit, but he's due one. I mean, he's been throwing the ball pretty solid all day, and the old 4-5-7, the Ted Grabowski.
You have to capitalize now on this. You got a break, got a 3-bagger. Now we're looking for the 4-bagger. We're not going to use the other word that's out there, Phil. Starts with an H. Let's see if you can capitalize on this. Again, I figured this was going to be a very close, good match, and it's starting off that way.
Nice and soft out of the hand, but didn't make its way up in lane 21. Plays to how it has all day again, just a little bit tighter.
All that rev rate, all that speed, and the ball still fell back all the way to the pocket. Lucky not to leave the 4-5-7, Phil.
Yeah, the head pin did enough damage over on the left side to get rid of those 2 pins, but nice and straight, no problem covering up that 5 pin.
Yeah, that shot might have gotten into his head, I think, a little bit, because he yanked that one pretty bad. You can see he's shaking his head. I don't think he was happy with that throw.
No, but leaves himself dead even in the match. Ryan Zagar only working on a single strike in the 5th frame after leaving that cold 8-pin last time in lane 22.
Beautiful. What a beautiful game. Those are how the strikes should be. Not a pin left on the deck.
And even though it's a long, lanky game for Ryan, he's about 5'10", 5'11", long swing, everything like that. It's smooth. There's no jerky motions. And you see that a lot with high school players that around Ryan's age that try to get a lot on the ball and they're really herky-jerky. And coaches, high school coaches that are getting your season, smooth your players out. You'd be surprised how much easier they're able to throw the ball and repeat shots when they're smooth like Ryan.
He reminds me, and I mentioned it last time I saw him on the TV show, that he looks so much like Brian Goebel. Brian Goebel was on the tour back in the 90s, early 2000s, and has Brian's type of height, type of backswing, the whole deal. And boy, it's just like a carbon copy, Phil.
Absolutely, and it relaxed, smooth, both players, AJ and Ryan, and you'll see it with Cody Ramsden in the next match you shot with Jimmy Reszke. The smoother you are on the lanes, bowlers, the easier it's going to be for you to repeat shots.
Yeah, really, Phil, that could have been the front 7.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. So, and other than one little off shot for AJ where he left that 2-5 in frame number 2,
yep,
could almost have the same thing. Just didn't quite carry the wall shot in the 6th frame, and now taking a little extra time on the shot. He knows this one's important.
I think that last frame, Phil, got to him. I really do. I think he's still thinking about it. He knows that he didn't throw a good shot physically, so he is trying to get all his thoughts together.
Doesn't look like he's made any move on the approach at all, so he might be making a slight change maybe with ball speed. He looks good at... Ooh, he hit that one up on the bottom just a hair, Dwight, and it jumped high on him.
Yeah, and it also looks, Phil, like he got it to the track a little early, and I think that was basically the move from the last shot, Phil. I think the ball fell back, he pulled it the last shot. I think he said to himself, okay, I'm going to get it to the right on this one, and I think he got it into the friction too early, and it overjumped.
Yeah, and you see Ryan there jumping up, and he knows he's got a huge break there because his lead just went from single digits to 23 pins in one frame with 3 frames to go.
This is what we were talking about, is the person who's going to make the first mistake. And unfortunately, AJ made it.
Yeah, he can still shoot 235. He's got the one he needs to still shoot 235 out there. But Ryan right now is sitting at a 230 pace.
Yeah, you can't give guys like Ryan that type of opening and expect to still win the match. Ryan should take this next shot and just bury AJ into the ground, as you would think he would.
So nicely Smooth through the bottom. That's a little bit left, and almost a 4-9.
Yeah, he knew it. He was waving it off. He knew either that it was going to jump on him or he got maybe a little inside a target. Lucky not to leave the 4-9.
Yeah, watch the replay here and watch that 9 was standing till something almost out of the pit.
Yep.
Kicked it down.
Big break.
Yeah. Now this spare is crucial. Maintain that 22-pin lead with 2 frames to go. And basically, if Ryan can get himself set up in the 9th frame, AJ can't shut him out. No matter what AJ does, even if he strikes out in the 9th and 10th. And it was Ryan's choice to finish last. So as the higher seed, Ryan had lane choice, and he wanted to finish in lane 22, know what he needed to get up there and shoot once his opponent was done.
Yep. Really impressed with his spare shooting too, Phil. You could see he picked up a different ball, threw it hard and straight, right at it, eliminated the lane condition. It's just like old school for these kids. It's just boom, done.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
And they're learning, and especially from their high school matches, throwing Baker games. They know how important spares are in the middle of a Baker game match. You make that one mistake for your team, instead of is even, they're down 10, 15 pins, and that's tough to come back from.
Yeah, big foundation strike in the 9th frame. It's going to set it up for the 10th. He's in great shape.
Yeah. Basically,
must double here for AJ.
Yeah, basically whatever AJ does here, if he strikes in this shot, Ryan will have to match him in the 10th frame.
Got it a little inside again.
And
so the ball fell back.
Yeah, it looked like he was a little too loose on his swing on the bottom. Usually you see his wrist kind of uncupped, but the fingers come through, and the fingers didn't really come through. The fingers just kind of stayed back a hair.
Yeah, I still think that 7th frame with the open, I still think that's in his head. So move back in a little bit. And again, the big theme, Phil, is he lost that ball motion he had the first game.
Yeah, with that, looks like AJ can strike out for 215. That would just really force Ryan to get nine pins on his first ball, would be 216. So this one's pretty much over now. Ryan's not even going to need that. So AJ's going to finish in 3rd place today. No, that's not the finish he was looking for walking into the door today, but he's going to get a $150 scholarship. That's going to come in handy at McKendree.
Absolutely.
AJ just about near the $1,000 scholarship mark total for his last 2 seasons in the Youth Challenge Series. So it'll buy some books.
Absolutely. He knew it was going to be a close match, and it was the one. Ryan so far has thrown a very clean game, and AJ would have been too. AJ just had that big open in the 7th, but again, got a phenomenal physical game. Don't hold your head low here. Take and learn from it, but he just didn't get the ball reaction this game as what he did the first game, Phil.
Yeah. 202. AJ's going to head back to college. Let Ryan finish off here. Ryan can strike out for 247. Send a little message to his opponent waiting in the wings, Cody Ramsden.
Wow.
Oh, lucky to get the 10 out.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good shot off his hand. He got the banana shape type of motion, got the 3 phases of ball reaction, and just came into the pocket a little light. Lucky not to leave the 7-10.
Ryan get a little more rosin on the thumb. Maybe he had a little moisture on there. Get that done. Ryan, last bowler today, eligible for the EFX Performance Award. You see Ryan wearing an EFX bracelet. If he happens to win today, he'll get a $40 bonus courtesy of EFX products, added to the $250 first place prize. EFX, a year-long sponsor of the Youth Challenge Series, and any of our youth
added perk.
Exactly. Any of our youth bowlers win, and they're wearing EFX Performance gear, and they're wearing that EFX patch you see on Ryan's right sleeve there, they win the bonus. So Katie won the bonus in our last show.
Yes, I remember.
Unfortunately, our EFX division winner didn't have it on, so that's going to increase the bonus to $50 at our next event.
Yeah, he made a ball change, Phil, on that fill ball. I think he wanted to test the waters.
Absolutely. Knows it's probably going to take 223 to win the next match against Cody Ramsden. But Dwight and I will be back for that final in the boys division in just a couple of minutes from Castle Lanes and Racine. Bowling fans, you waited all day for it. Once again, the boys championship here from Castle Lanes and Racine for the 2011 Kickoff Classic. And Dwight, Cody Ramsden's been throwing the ball phenomenal all day. Had an 8-pin per game average lead over the rest of the field, and now he's got to bowl that one game to win the title.
I was just going to say, Phil, now he's got just one game to win it all. Interesting hand position, Phil. Very much on the side of the ball throughout most of the entire arm swing, backswing, and then gets underneath the ball from the backswing down to the finish and rotates nicely around the ball. Starting off with the C-System 2.5, looks like he's used that ball most of the day, and obviously he's going to stay with it for the final match.
Absolutely. You got to ride what brought you there.
Absolutely. He wants to thank his father, who basically has taught me everything. I can relate with that. I kind of worked with Ashley since my daughter, who's now 19, from 6 years old and up. And fathers take a lot of pride in their kids' physical games.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you talked to Ryan's father here, Matt, Hall of Famer in the Racine area himself, and he's the first one to tell you my kid is 10 times better than I ever was now. And and his dad's helped him work on his game and work on his mental game, and made Ryan the champion that he is. Yeah. There's one thing I always flash back to: the first tournament we had here at Castle Lanes 3 years ago. First time in the castle we had, and here's Ryan at 14 years old in the final match, and all he had to do to get up on the last ball to win the match was shoot an 8 count. And he got fast, and he left a 7 count, lost a 3-frame roll-off to Tyler Schmitz out of the Green Bay area, and Ryan didn't pout, he didn't cry. All he did was grab his stuff, went down to the other lanes, farther down the center, and practiced. And he's always been that way, and it shows in this game now, 3 years later when he's 17.
One word, Phil: maturity.
Yep.
And that is always comes down from the parents. So Matt, you did a great job with him.
Yeah, and his mom, Sharon. His brother, Kyle, is going to be, I think, the best lefty in the Racine area within the next 5 years. Sorry, Al Zeitz, I know you've thrown a lot of 300s in the day, but Kyle, at 14 years old, finished second in the middle school tournament last year that the Bowling Centers Association of Wisconsin runs after the high school season's done. And I'll tell you what, Kyle's going to make some waves, too, in his day, and Ryan's sister, Stephanie, out there watching as well.
Very compact game with Cody, Phil. Short steps, nice ball motion so far, nice double to start off the match.
It's funny that nowadays we call a compact game a shoulder-high backswing.
Yes.
Because for so many years, if a bowler had a shoulder-high backswing, it was considered the revolutionary. It was considered somebody that had a high backswing. Well, now that's average backswing is what Cody has right now, especially with the way the bowlers have learned to rotate their shoulders over the last 30 years.
Sean Rash, I'm a Little might have been an early one for that. I'm a Little Monticelli, maybe dating myself by mentioning him, Phil.
I'm a Little made a World Series show last year at age 49. I mean,
what does that tell
the guy's still a phenomenal bowler, almost at the age of 50.
I remember his bio all the time on the Pro Tour. It was all the miles of jogging he used to do, even before the show started. Again, athletes, kept himself in great shape. As long as I remember, I'm a Little, he was always skinny as a rail.
And you don't get away with bowling 60 or 70 games a week and not being in some type of physical shape. And Ryan's going to need to make a little shape change here on lane 22, because that's back-to-back 4 pins for him, and this is the first time all day he's gone more than 2 shots on a lane without striking.
I think he really liked that one, Phil. You could tell he liked that one, and he got great ball motion and great ball reaction. It just jumped at the last second, but I think he really liked that one out of his hands.
Gonna change balls here, go a little bit straighter, right at that 4 pin, no problem whatsoever. Takes that lane out of play.
Yeah, he's just wondering, what do I have to do to get the strikes going? My opponent's got a 3-bagger against me.
Good stuff, and hey, good stuff with Spare Time with Sparky and Dwight. Dwight, thanks for you guys having me on your first broadcast recently. It was a fun time to be in there, and
sure was.
Great lot of bowling news and great interviews you guys have on that show.
Well, again, Phil, I think the whole Milwaukee community and Wisconsin community appreciates all the hard work that you do on Time Warner 32 to showcase our top youth in not only the city but the state. So we're the ones that are thankful for you.
And it was a fun interview that Sparky had with Walter Ray Williams, and once again, a 4-pin for Ryan. I'm sure he'll pick this up without a problem.
Sparky is the ultimate DJ, sports radio DJ. Tremendous enthusiasm is what I see with Sparky. A lot of fun to do the show with him. One show, and I've learned a lot already.
Well, picks it up, stays clean through 4 frames, so finds himself down by 23 pins. We're going to take the break a little early this game and be back from Castle Lanes with the rest of this match in just a couple of minutes. The boys' championship for the 2011 Kickoff Classic from Castle Lanes and Racine. And Dwight, we've got Cody Ramsden here out in the lead with an early 3-bagger.
Yep, this is a very positive start for him. Let's see if we can turn it into a 4-bagger. It would actually open up a big lead with Ryan with 4 consecutive 9 counts.
And that got a little slow, I think. It wasn't a target miss. It was a little slow out of his hand.
Definitely the ball slowed down, and I think the reason why, Phil, is he got it to the track a little early. That's what we call over-under. Lucky not to leave the baby split.
Something bouncing around there, taking the 10-pin out. Should leave him an easy spare.
Break.
Switches to a lower friction bowling ball, just like we saw Ryan do on his 4-pin attempts. Cross lane at the 3-pin.
Very nice footwork, but you're right. It's very compact, very short. But the biggest thing, Phil, is he keeps his head and shoulders very, very steady. I mean, he's worked hard at this.
Absolutely, and I mean, he's got a lot of the Badgerland Youth Bowling Tour titles out in the Madison area under his belt. One of the best youth bowlers out in the Madison area. Bowlers around here in Milwaukee and up in the Fox cities may not have heard of him, but hey, he finished in third, tied for third last year at the Shawnee Memorial. You know, a great tournament. Didn't have the TV game he was looking for, and he finished fourth in our high 5-gear doubles classic from New Berlin Bowl earlier this year.
The thing that I noticed, Phil, was last year when my daughter went to high school state, is, folks, there is a tremendous, and I repeat, tremendous amount of talent throughout the whole entire state, both not only on the boys' side but also on the girls' side. My daughter Ashley averaged, I think, 218, and she didn't even make the TV finals, Phil. So, I mean, that just shows you the kind of talent that's around the state.
Absolutely, and Cody was phenomenal in his high school days. His senior year, led Verona to the high school state title for team, and got all he could do there after that 4-6-7 split. Take the 2, move on, and still keep yourself with the lead, no matter what Ryan does here, because Ryan's working on a spare. 4 of them in a row, to be a fact.
Yep. And this is, we don't want the all spare game patch here. So I know Ryan is obviously, let's get a strike going here sooner or later.
I don't think that patch is out there anymore. I think it's a magnet now.
Oh, it's the magnet. That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you for correcting me.
And once again, 4 out of 5 4-pins. It's going to take, I think, a big move for Ryan here now, and this could be an all or nothing move coming up for him.
Yeah. Again, just what he must be going through his mind. And I'm sure that the last thing he's thinking, Phil, is 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare equals 190. I'm sure he wants to get some strikes going desperately. And I think he'll make the moves. I think he's good enough and smart enough to maybe move them. I would make a board or 2 move left with my feet, maybe 1 board left with my mark, Phil. That's what I would do, especially if you're leaving chronic 4-pins.
And the good news for Ryan is that he's got 5 spares in a row, but because the Cody's open in the 5th frame, he's down by less than a mark. He's only down by 9 pins at this point in time.
It just shows you how big the opens are. Just remember, folks, you leave a 9 count and you miss it, that's 11 pins off your score. If it's a lower count than 9, it's even more than that off the score. So, especially if it's on a strike or a spare.
Made a little bit of a deeper move there. You were right, Dwight. He moved a little bit to the left, and he knew that out of his hand it was going to be 10 in the pit.
Smart. Smart and good. That's the key to success in winning titles.
Gets that ball to just face up nightly. A little deflection, but a strong enough roll where the 6 still slapped the 10 out.
Yeah, now the psyche's totally changed, Phil. Cody had a commanding lead through 4 frames, and I know he's thinking of the score right here. I'm sure he's thinking, boy, I better get going.
And that's just left out of his hand, and boy, after getting that break on the 3-pin last time, thought he would have made a move after seeing Ryan move too, and that
almost
one
back-to-back shots, you know.
And a little easier to make than a 6-7-10 here. You can slap that 6-pin off the 9-pin and into the 7. We've seen it made in a high school challenge show earlier, but it's got to be farther to the right, and that just took the 3.
Yeah, he decided to throw it hard and straight, and usually to make that, you're going to have to try to hook it a little bit and get it to the right side of the 6-pin to kick the 6 across.
So, Bowlers Pro Shop in Milwaukee. I know we've missed Joey Serrar in the last couple of shows doing the commentary. Thanks for stepping in, Dwight, and
no problem.
Joe will be back sometime soon.
Joel, great guy, does a great job.
Him and Dennis Jarrah's getting the season going over there like you're doing at Spare Time Pro Shop in New Berlin, and Cody not making a big enough move to carry out all 10 pins.
Yeah, and now Philly's running out of frames. That's the bottom line here. He did make the right move. He did get better ball reaction, but that 5th and 6th frame could really come back to haunt him, Phil.
Well, he can spare here and still shoot 224, and you got to think with Ryan, he found 1 in the 6th frame, but can he keep it going? Ryan's at a 200 pace at the rate he's going.
You know, the thing, Phil, is I think Ryan is starting to figure it out a little quicker than Cody. So let's see, obviously, if we can turn that single strike into a double.
Ryan can take his lead, extend it out from 7 to 17 pins if he can strike here, but
this is big.
4-pin, 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 the last 3 shots on this lane.
Let's see if he made the move left. I would assume that he probably went 1 to 2 left with his feet.
Picked up his speed and actually, wow, I think he got away with a little bit of a spinner on that one, Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he knew that was good off his hand at all. Got away with kind of like a splasher more than anything else.
You watch that ball deflected through the 9-pin spot, and the 6 and the 10 hit the gutter at the same time.
Weird pin carry, weird strike on that one. But, you know, Phil, it's a double. Looks the same up on the score sheet.
Exactly. He made the move, but the release wasn't the prettiest. I think, see what he can do to get that clean, much cleaner off his hand that time, and you see the pinfall difference.
Look how quick that turned around. Now it's a 3-bagger and big commanding lead now over Cody.
22 pins over Cody.
Cody's got to get it going here. This is 8th frame. You only have a couple left. This is the time you got to make your move.
Yeah, it's a 224 if he goes off the sheet. If Ryan goes spare strike, he'd be in the 220s as well. So the match is far from over. And wow, that's real unusual for a light hit to leave the 4-7-8.
Overcorrection, Phil. That's what it looked like to me. Got a little bit too much in the oil, and I hate to say it, but again, even from a 3rd, 4th arrow line, it's really over-under. Get it to the track, really takes off, hits that oil line, literally falls all the way back to the pins from inside. And
that just shows how much the high cover stock equipment, the high oil depletion that's on the lanes, from these aggressive cover stacks on these bowling balls, change the shot that quickly. It's two bowlers that have bowled a total of 5 games now, or just over 5 games on the TV show, and you see how much oil is gone and how much of a move these bowlers have had to make.
Right, and that's the old cliche. Anything can happen in a 1-game match. Look at Cody's first 3 frames, absolute cruise control, and now he finds himself behind with just a frame or 2 to go.
Yeah, he goes from 20 up to 20 down in 3 frames, and now he needs
big strike there.
Yeah, he needs a big opening from Ryan in order to do anything with this match. I mean, if Ryan gets this one right here, it's just going to take a mark in the 10th frame for him to win the match.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you that Ryan never gave up. He kept plugging away, kept staying clean, going again toward another clean game, but made the correct moves, made the correct adjustments. Might have got a little bit of a break last time up on 22, getting that splashy for the strike. No splash there, though. That was absolutely perfect. Flush 10 back, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to lock up the match for him. He's got 156 in the 7th. If he goes 9 miss off the sheet, that's 214. The most Cody can get is 211. So really, Ryan just needs 7 pins.
Driver's seat.
Yeah, 7 pins on the first ball and a couple to pick up after that, and he's got it.
Well, it just shows that it's never over, Phil, till it's over.
Another good shot. Hey, what a surprise, a 4-pin.
Yeah, almost a 4-9 again. 9 went out at the last second. I don't know if that would have made much change on the impact of the match if he would have left the 4-9. You can see the 9 going out at the last second. But again, he picks this up back-to-back clean games. Boy, that's how you win titles, Phil.
Yeah, if he would have left the 4-9, he would have just had to get 1 to lock it up. He knows that's the lockup right now. That's going to get Ryan the $250 first place scholarship today, along with the $40 EFX performance bonus for a total of $290. Not a bad little take, and since Ryan bowled that first tournament, since he was 14 years old with the Youth Challenge Series, he's earned over $2,500 in scholarship money in the Youth Challenge Series. It's amazing what he's done. Working hard, practicing his game, and bowlers, it's not just Ryan that could be earning all this money out here. There's a lot of you talented youth bowlers all across the state of Wisconsin that should be out here taking a shot at the Youth Challenge Series. Check our website. Just do a Google search for Youth Challenge Series. You'll find our website, and you can get all the information about our upcoming events all through this season.
And it's just not bowling the tournament, Phil. It's getting the experience. You know, that's the biggest thing. You might not win. You might not make the TV finals. You might not even make the cut. But any of the pros that started out on the Pro Tour didn't automatically get on TV and start winning titles. They had to make the adjustments in their games physically and with ball choices too. If you go back and look at some of the early years, even with Earl Anthony made like $1,000 on the tour the first year.
Absolutely. Went out, practiced, like all these young bowlers do, came out and won 42 titles. So Cody's going to take home a $180 scholarship on his last Youth Challenge Series event. He's going to end up with a strike. We'll get out of here and come back from Castle Lanes to wrap this up with Dwight and myself in just a couple of minutes, so make sure you stay tuned.
Well, you beat him in the amount of strikes in the game.
I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in the Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too. Well, Dwight, championship match. Cody comes out with that early three-bagger. Ryan comes out with 3 spares. And I'm looking at you in the booth going, this one might be over really early.
Yeah, I mean, Cody really had a great start, 3 in a row, and Ryan's 9ing him to death, and all of a sudden the tables turn, Phil.
Yeah, Cody gets that big split in the middle of the game, can't convert it. Next thing you know, Ryan takes the lead and holds on to it, takes home that $290 in scholarship money thanks to that bonus from EFX Performance Gear. Well, that's it for the tournament action so far this season from Castle Lanes, but now heading up to your home territory, New Berlin Bowl, for our next set of U-Challenge Series action.
It ought to be a great turnout of young male and female bowlers, Phil.
And while you're coming up to New Berlin Bowl, make sure you see Dwight at Albrecht Spare Time Pro Shop inside of New Berlin Bowl. For my friend Dwight Albrecht, I'm Phil Brylow, and parents, take the kids bowling. They'll have fun for life. We'll see you again soon.